Sometimes you know deep down in your soul that is completely wrong. But shit, it just feels so right. So you just go on and go through with it. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, okay, y'all. This is actually season 1, episode 8 of Greenleaf. And like I said, sometime your ass knows it's wrong, but then it's gonna be right, and you just it is what it is. But whatever, we'll talk about it. We started right off with Noah and Isabel. Is it Isabella or Isabel? Whatever. I think Isabel. But they're planning to move out of Memphis right after the wedding. So she's basically putting it on Noah to tell Lady May, they're moving. And I think that's going to be problematic, especially after Lady May has actually paid for the wedding and all of this, and you're living on the grounds. People, the loyalty thing, they take it to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So I believe that at some point that's going to be problematic. But Isabel, she just kind of left that on Noah. You go ahead and you take care of that, and this, that thing, and the other. So now, being as on Isabel or Isabella, whatever her name is, I'm just going to continue right on down that road. Now, when we first met her, I wasn't crazy about her because I thought she was really corny, if you will. You are holding on to your virginity and your virtue, not. Because I don't know how you think you're holding on to your virtue when you're sucking dick like 40 going north on a regular, but you're not having intercourse. So, as somewhere up in your mind, that's all right. I don't really get it. I mean, in here, what's the difference? And I'll tell you the difference. I prefer that you not go here and you went there. I mean, when it gets all up in this area, it's real personal. It's real personal. So, whatever. I don't have a vagina, so I don't know. But I know I'm going to tell you, I don't see the big deal. If you sucking dick, you might as well fuck. Go on, because you a hot mess. So, Isabella or Isabel, she ain't up on my list of fabulous folk. She a mess. But there's a whole little situation where she ends up having a conversation with Lady May. And I said, this conversation is so out of order. But she asked Lady May, do you think he is actually pining feelings for Gigi now that she's back? Or do you think he really loves me? Now, it's fine. To be having these feelings are fine because you're dead on, bitch. You're dead on. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If you think your man is cheating, 9 times out of 10 he is. There's something going on that's making you believe that this man is being unfaithful to you. Okay? So, if you're thinking it, there's probably something to it. You know what I mean? And it may not, but 9 times out of 10. If you're thinking it, dick is going wayward, honey. But anyway, he's trying. He really is trying, but I don't give a goddamn. Noah loves Gigi, and Gigi loves Noah, and it don't matter what anybody does or anybody says. It is what it is. So having that going on, first of all, Lady May is not your mother, bitch. That is Gigi's mother. She's not even like another mother. I mean, if she was like another, because other people have another mother figure. Like I have a friend that I actually call my other mother, and I could have conversations with her that I would have with my actual birth mother. But baby, that ain't what you got going on. You don't think that that's what you got going on with Gigi's. That's Gigi's mother. End of the day, and I don't even think that she even fucking likes Gigi. But at the end of the day, she's Gigi's mother, but she's not your mother. So I just thought it was kind of out of order. And that comes into where people don't know their place. Learn your motherfucking place. Your place has been on your knees and pretending to be a virgin, bitch. Continue with that and stay from asking Lady May questions about Gigi. Because you out of order, bitch. Anyway, so she goes on into that. Now, knowing that, we go forward into a scene where Noah is actually begging her to hit him up one more time and give him a little brain, honey. I said, oh my. And I see walk around there in this little towel. I said, girl, I don't understand. You whatever. You already, I don't give a shit what you say. Y'all already having sex. And he walk around in this little towel. You playing all coy and being all cute. And you think that there's another interest in another woman. You've got to be crazy. If there was any day that you were just voluntarily sucking dick, that should have been a day you were sucking dick. And he was there one more time just before we get married. And she declined. And we're going to talk about that later. I'm just going to hold off. We're going to talk about that later. But just remember, he asked her to break him off. She said no, honey. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so let's go over and let's talk about Carlton. So Carlton, Charity's actually getting messages on her phone where some of the members of the church are having a fit about the fact that they seen Carlton holding hands with his husband during the Sunday church service. Now, this is to be expected, but this is where I'm going to get in trouble because my mouth is always getting me in trouble with the heteros and with the homos. So whatever. So I'm just going to go on up on my soapbox and y'all come on and give it to me however y'all want to give it to me. Tell me why. Why is it necessary to perpetuate ill feelings? Why? Now, I don't have a problem with me. Have never had a problem with me and who I am. Okay? And what I am. It is what it is. But I am smart enough to know that everybody in the world is not happy with what I am and who I am. Okay? So, why do I want to thrust myself into a position that I even have to deal with that when it's not necessary? Now, I don't feel like I have to break myself back or tone myself down. But as far as when it comes to like public shows of affection, I've always thought it was unnecessary. Homo, hetero, mixed up, some motherfucker don't know what they want to do, any of that. It is unnecessary. For me, it just is unnecessary. And then we're going to go a little bit further. We're talking about the church. A black church. Anybody crazy? Everybody knows what the feeling and the vibe is about homosexuality in a black church. So why is it that you and your husband need to be holding hands at church? Why start something where there doesn't have to be something? And if you feel that you need to do all this and you need to be that comfortable, why not go to a gay church? There are gay churches. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. The only way we're going to get to a place of understanding, there is always going to be some type of separation when it comes to gay and non-gay situations. Church, that's never going to change. It's never going to change. If you don't want to play the game the way they play the game over at the church, their church, because it's their church. We're never going to actually be a member of that society. You could be a member of the church. You could do whatever you want to do. You are never, in their minds, going to be 100% member of the church. And here we go. I can see the comments now. But whatever. You're never, I know for myself, James Colwell, you're never going to be accepted by every member of the church and looked at as an equal in that church. The worst motherfucker in that church will still feel like they're better than you. It could be a motherfucking homeless crackhead that done stole off the motherfucking plate when the plate went around for collection. And you could be the bitch to put $1,000 in on the other end. You are never going to be looked at as that person's equal if they're straight. Not in the church. Not in that black church. Now, y'all go ahead in the comments and do what y'all going to do. But I just said it, so it is what it is. My point was, why, Carlton, was it necessary to even be holding your husband's hand in church? It wasn't necessary. He's your husband. You all live together. When you get home, baby, you can hold his feet, his hands, his meat, his face, his tongue, whatever you want to hold. Why have to do it at church? That's my question. Why? Why is it necessary? And then I'll go a little further. You're not just a member. You work there. You're at work. You're at work. Why create turmoil at work the first week? Okay, down off my soapbox. Put on, boom, 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 bam, boom, and let's move on. Charity was going through her phones. She was very irritated about the whole situation, and I'm laughing because we're going to make a mark here because Charity's so irritated with it. She doesn't understand, well, why can't people just let people live and blah, 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 blah. I want to see if you continue this when you find out that your man is a cocksucker. Okay, so Kevin had the nerve to say out of his gay little mouth, the Bible says it's wrong. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch. And that's just what I did. When I was sitting here watching it, I sat right up and I said, shut up, bitch. How dare you, with your flipping through the phone, looking at dicks and chests and care. The Bible says it's wrong. I can't wait till we get to the point in the program that Madame Kevin shows the right side of her face, honey. And I want to see if Miss Charity is still singing the same song. I promise you she's probably not going to be. But I can't wait for that part to come. When that little implode, I can't wait for that motherfucking part. But until that part, Kevin, you shut up, bitch. Anyway, moving on. That made me mad, child. Moving on. So, David Nelson, the cop that did the shooting, exonerated. Nobody got in trouble. It created pandemonium. They broke out, and it's so much like what's going on now. They even had a little disclaimer in the beginning of the show saying, that the show was filmed back in January, and it just so happened that some of the things that are written in the show is actually happening right now. But they broke out in the protests and all this kind of stuff, and all of this was going on. He talked to Gigi, and he was saying, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Gigi's like, no. She's trying to talk him out of it. Don't run away from the problem. Don't leave Memphis, because this could be the start of the healing. This will be the start of people starting to understand, and we can get some resolve and that kind of thing. He's like, that's easy to say when people aren't shouting at you and spitting in your face and calling you names and wishing death on you and all of that. And Gigi's like, she understands it, but she was really urging him not to leave Memphis and to actually stay. So that was that. Pastor Greenleaf, Bishop, actually ended up seeing is another church that they were involved with. I think it's Trinity. I think is the name of the church. But they were on, and the guy from that church was the one that was the pastor there was leading the whole Black Lives Movement and the protests and all of that. Him and Bishop Greenleaf actually had a run-in, and it was ugly. It was ugly. He was throwing slurs at Bishop Greenleaf. making accusations that he's pretty much a dirty church and that everything's going to fall down on his head. And he was real smart and sly and asked about how's that audit going, and he says the audit just found no, not the one for the church, the personal one. How's that going? And that whole thing, he was like all in. That's just gonna show you they talk too fucking much in those churches back and forth. Um, they had that whole thing going on because he was saying, don't. He was saying you're starting to create a rolling ball of hate here. This is getting ready to turn out to be something not good. You know what I mean? So he wasn't hearing it. He wasn't hearing it, and he just told him. He said, "You just wait. You think this is a problem? Wait until you see what happens with you when I've done more than just exposed you. Just wait and see." I'm like, oh my. So messy church folk. Meantime, in between time, Gigi had actually went to see Noah and asked Noah, was there a way that he could hack Mac's computer to look at his calendar to see if she could find out anything there? And absolutely they did. They actually found in this computer there was a trip to was it North Carolina? I believe it was Nashville. It was Nashville because they're in Memphis, so it was in Nashville. Turns out the girl Danielle, Gigi ends up going back to see her pretty brown skinned girl. She had gone to Nashville and all of this business to have an abortion. So once Gigi told her, I know about the trip to Nashville, she snuck out. They end up talking. Finds out, yes, Mac did come in. Yes, Mac did woo her. Yes, Mac did molest her. Yes, Mac got her pregnant. She went and had an abortion. Her mother knew all about it. Her mother, in turn, received a scholarship from the church, which is part of a big luncheon or whatever that Lady Mae does every year. She has a scholarship, and she gives a scholarship to several people. And Gigi also found that there was never an application for the scholarship done by Danielle's mother. And she actually went and she questioned Danielle's grandmother, which is Gigi's secretary, the brown skinned lady that's always in front, that you always see in front of Gigi's. She talked to her, and the lady gave it all up. You know what I mean? She wouldn't lie. She's not gonna lie to Gigi. Gigi's the pastor, and she's like, "How could you stay like this and be right up the hallway from him all these years? How could you sit under that?" You know what I mean? And she was like, "Well, this is my church." And it just showed her loyalty to the church. It's like, this man came in and literally just sham and just scoured through your family, your immediate family, and your love and your loyalty for the church. You swallowed all that. It's about, you have to have a forgiving heart, Pastor. This, that, and the other. Child. So she went on. Lady Mae never knew, but they basically kind of led you. I believe the pastor did know. Pastor Greenleaf, the Bishop Greenleaf knew, and Mac knew. And they literally just slid that on through basically as payment for more hush money. So Gigi had talked to the little girl and asked her, will you be willing to testify? And the little girl, basically, she's ready to come on out with it. That was, in essence, the you don't know what you don't know situation. So that was that whole thing. Gigi goes over to talk to Noah. And she's telling Noah, she's updating Noah on what all she's found out. And they're just talking and they're going back and forth. And then they go from that, they go into a whole nother conversation. They finally went ahead and had the conversation of the fact that if Mac never did what he did to Faith, that they would probably be married. They would still be together and be married and be in love and all that stuff. And he was all like, I don't know, this, that, thing, and the other. And she's like, yeah, it would be. you know, and it was just getting real hot in there, and I was like, So I'm laughing. I said, okay, so let's go backwards. When they were talking earlier, there was a conversation with old Isabel, who she asked Faith, not Faith. She asked Gigi, "Who's your plus one for the wedding?" And she told her, "My daughter, Sophie." And she said, "So Sophia's gonna be your plus one?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, who are you gonna dance with?" Whatever. She's like, "Not worried about all that. You know what I mean? You don't have anybody special." She's like, "No." And that bitch gave her very much of, maybe you'll find someone on the dance floor. I'll be praying for you. And Gigi was like, oh, okay. And Gigi thought nothing of it went on, but I was like, she's being shady. But look, don't be so cute so fast. Let's go back forward. Gigi and good old Noah's having this conversation, honey, and they all in each other's face, honey. It's getting kind of hot. And then Gigi really did start it. She leaned in there and she fucking kissed Noah on the mouth, child. I said, kiss Noah on the mouth. This she said, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I should have did that. And he gonna say, no, don't be sorry. And then he went on and he kissed her back. I said, okay. And they was kind of looking at each other all crazy. And I was like, now listen, let me tell you something, Gigi. Girl, you may not have seen him with the towel on, honey. But I did. Bitch, if you don't want it, get on out the way, bitch, and move, honey. So I laughed. I said, oh, this is not going to be good. Baby, the next thing I know, I see Gigi's feet, honey, and Gigi's trying to kick her heels off, honey. And the next thing you know, you seen her drawers come down. And then Noah did what he asked good old girlfriend to do to him, honey, and she didn't do. He went down there and munched on Gigi's box, honey, and the good pastor was like, woo! She put her Bible right on down, honey. I said, oh, Gigi, child. And then is when the real problem started. Because they could have even broke back from that. He would have still got married and everything, and they could have stopped and said, you know, this is just wrong. But you know what happened? She let him put the head in, honey. Honey, he lifted her skirt right on up and stuck it right on up in her, honey, which is what he wasn't getting. Guess what, Isabella? You just lost. You lost. I don't know if there's going to be a wedding, but if there is a wedding, bitch, it's not going to mean anything. You just lost, honey. When he stuck that little thing in there, honey, and got that tingly feeling, honey, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. They didn't just have sex, honey. They fucked, honey. And then, the bitch stayed the night. Stayed the night. It was so motherfucking good, they had to lay in it, honey. I said, oh, mess, honey. That damn Gigi woke up, honey, and was like, oh, yeah, bitch. She slid her little stuff on. He was woke, honey. He ain't say nothing. He didn't want to embarrass her. He didn't want to have an awkward moment. He was laying there just as content. When she got out that bed, honey, he was just as content and just as happy. And she went on, honey, and he laid there all day, I believe, if she'd have laid there all day. I said, you better go on and do it, honey. Now, like I said in the beginning, when you know it's wrong, but it's just so damn right, oh well. Anyway, so Gigi goes on back up to the house. Lady Mae's sitting in the living room, honey. And they gave her very much of, I've been sitting up half the night. And they go back and forth and they have some little, conversation. And next thing you know, Mae goes on digging and Gigi gonna ask her, where you been? Where have you been? I guess you just ain't never gonna be satisfied until you just tear this place down to the ground. Then told her, you look like you've been rolled hard and sat out wet. Actually, Lady Mae, she got wet first, and then she got rolled hard, bitch. And mind your motherfucking business. Sitting down on the couch waiting on her when you could have been getting you something, bitch. Anyway, Gigi gave her to get on, honey, and went on up them steps. I know she felt bad because she out of order. She is out of order, but fuck, whatever. That was her man. Fuck out of here. It's wrong. It's wrong, but so is everything else around him. Anyway. So, okay, so after that, next thing we know, because it's Sunday morning, child. It's morning. Where's Kelly Price, child? But anyway, okay, off topic, real quick. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but there was this whole big thing when I said, "Where's Kelly Price?" There was a whole big thing about Kelly Price and her singing at a gospel expo, and the bitch that sat there and sang "As We Lay," honey, and the church folks was mad, honey, as mad as hell at Kelly. But anyway, so that's what Gigi was giving, honey. Gigi is walking on home, honey, Sunday morning, singing "As We Lay" in her head, honey. I said, how perfect, child. So anyway, they go on, get dressed for church. They're on their way, going to church, and up walks David Nelson. And he's going to talk to Gigi. She's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you here. You know what I mean? Because, he's come out, he's come up to the church, and she's thinking, well, maybe he's taking my advice and he's going to stay. Well, a few seconds into that, you hear somebody come up behind, as if this is for my brother, and shoots him. It is the victim's brother shot him right in the front of the church. So the last thing we actually see is Gigi literally filled with regret. She's filled with regret because I know it's all running through her head. Like her mother said, well, you're not going to stop till you burn this place down. You done fucked up Noah's wedding. Now this boy's laying up here with a hot one in him. But I don't know where we're going to go because that's the kind of where it ended. But it just all came crashing down and it just looked bad. But none of what she did, except for she could fucking Noah, was bad. But trying to convince him to stay wasn't a bad thing, but it just turned out to be a bad situation. But we'll see how Gigi deals with it. Gigi, I like that Gigi. I like Gigi. And I'm not going to stop liking Gigi. Gigi is, and I'm saying that she is completely out of order for fucking Noah, but Noah needed fucked, so whatever. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. I've talked about this long enough. It was good. I can't wait till next week. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.